Can I just quickly say, it's been a long time since I've heard Apocalypse's velvety voice during one of these Q&A stuff. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Thoughts to Morny, who's dealing with COVID, unfortunately.
Shit.
So I've been roped in to deal with this, and I will add on to your fuck you to Andy too, because he just decided to leave, having a life, which is, something I can't relate to.
Yeah.
I hope everything's going well for everyone in chat, and don't forget to hit that like button. We need the thumbs ups.
Oh yeah.
To start us off, we've got a patron question from D-Rock, who watched your Terralian video. However, D-Rock has not been able to join us in voice, so I'll ask for him with a little bit of a TLDR.
Okay.
Since we're going to need to go into this large cosmological fight soon, it seems to be all gearing up between us looking to take down the light at some point soon, which is a super primordial powerful force.
Yeah.
Do you think that we're going to get allies from unlikely places? For example, Denathrius, who has a personal vendetta against the light and is currently in need of a new body, as well as Anduin, who is also having some unfortunate consequences of falling out with the light at the moment and going off to be a little emo in the Maw. So do you think that we are going to pull from unlikely allies to help us in that large fight?
I recognize as a fellow lore speculator, this must be hell for you to just ask the question and not necessarily be able to provide your own insight into it. So you are welcome to do so as well, Apocalypse. But okay, so first and foremost, I'm still trying to figure out what the light actually is, and where the light lies in the entire cosmos, because there's two accounts that we have for this, right? We have the Titan account from the Chronicles, and then we have the Broker account from the Grimoire. And they seem to suggest different things. So the Titan account suggests that the light is the origin of all power, and that the light and the light and the void are the two OG powers, and then everything else just sort of formed, I guess, as a way to keep balance within the universe. Because if you think about it, I might be wrong here, but if you go through the entire Chronicles, the only cosmological force that the Titans go into detail on is the Foul, where they say it was created between the light and the void clashing that created the Foul. But it doesn't explain at all where life would come from, or where order would come from, or where death would come from. So it seems to suggest that these powers simply exist as sort of a sort of balancing act to keep the universe somewhat in balance. The Brokers, on the other hand, suggest that it's one power that obviously became the 6 powers that we have now. So it's difficult to figure out which of these accounts is actually true, because it's kind of important. Now, if we ignore that and we go with what most players in World of Warcraft accept as the truth, which is that all of the cosmological forces are at war with one another, I would say it's highly unlikely that we will get aid from any of the cosmological forces unless it happens to favor them. Do you see Denathrius helping us just out of the goodness of his heart, or even because of his hatred for the light?
See, that's where the kind of conditional is, right? The personal vendettas. I don't think anyone would do it just out of the goodness of their heart, but everyone has something to gain for taking down the light. I mean, Denathrius has his own kind of stake in it. Anduin has his own stake in it. Even Terralian and Illyria, they've already had issues with the Naru in Legion and them not being allowed to be together, for example. So I can see how even they could be turned. But then you have diehard kind of fanatics like Irel, who we haven't seen, even Velen to a certain extent. learned to question,
Yeah.
but he's still unwavering in his faith.
Yeah.
So going back to your Terralion video and the conflict within the civil war kind of coming, I can actually see that happening down different lines. But it would be something very interesting to see if we were to rebuild a body for Denathrius using the Zereth out there and give him the power to dominate Champions of Light. Since he worked for Zoval in the first place, he would have, or should have, some knowledge of how to do that.
I think Denathrius might be the best situated to take on the light. If we're purely going on, he wants something, but we don't know what he wants, because that would be a whole bag of speculation on its own. What is it that Denathrius ultimately wants? But if we say he does want something, he does have a personal hand in this fight, but for now, our interests sort of align. We don't want to be destroyed by the light, and Denathrius doesn't want to be whatever by the light, or whatever the light has on him. Denathrius has infiltrated the light. We know this because of the infiltration journal that we found. We know that his agents are within the light, and they basically drip feed the light false information. So Denathrius is, I think, an obvious ally. Also, Blizzard did something weird with Denathrius that they've almost never done with any of their bad guys. And that is, they made him incredibly relatable. Like, most people love Denathrius, even though he was just juicy evil. People still love him because he's got suave and he's very sophisticated.
He does have the step on me daddy kind of attitude, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he's basically the Yotsu of World of Warcraft, And so I can see Blizzard doing that with Denathrius, because if for those of you that don't remember, Denathrius was never even supposed to live past the early days of Shadowlands. The original Shadowlands story had Denathrius die in Castle Nathria. It was then rewritten last minute to basically be him, keep him in the sword, and then he sort of is imprisoned atop the spire. So Blizzard clearly had a plan with not killing Denathrius. Now, all of that would be determined by Denuzer and what Denuzer's storytelling would be there, what direction he wants to go in, and that is based on an interview with Denuzer. He made it clear that he believes there is still a huge place for cosmological stories within the story of World of Warcraft. So I can absolutely see, maybe not Dragonflight, but the one after Dragonflight having us deal with the light and sort of the light's forces on Azeroth, invading Azeroth and all that, and then Denathrius and his forces showing up and being like, oh yeah, you guys remember that bad guy that Zaval was talking about? Hello? It's here now. Yeah, I could see that. As for...
Brilliant.
Yeah, sorry. Other allies, though, especially cosmological allies, obviously the Void. This is where Xalatath will most likely make a comeback, because we know that the Void opposes the light in almost all things. Could this also be where we finally see Sargeras make a comeback? Like, do you think Sargeras would actually, or maybe even Illidan? Because remember, Illidan also not too fond of the light.
Yeah, absolutely. When I read the question from D-Rock, the first thing that came to my head wasn't Denathrius, even though they were the one specifically asked about it. It was the I Am My Scars cinematic, the rejection of the gift. That was one of the best cinematics to date so far, and it was fantastic how much effort they put into that.
Yes.
And it would be nice to see Illidan back again. Illidan was always my favorite character, but that's because... Arthas seems to be a bit pretentious for me, and I know that's going to start a fight in chat. I don't care. Come at me in Discord. The link's in there. But yeah, it would be nice to see the big Avengers Assemble kind of fight going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, sort of. I think that would also the light being an enemy would give us a lot of insight into our universe. Because everyone that comes to help is going to shine a light on the different factions and the different allies and the different moves within the universe and also within the cosmological forces. So yeah, just overall, it is something that I'm very excited for. And just on the Illidan cinematic, I still get chills from that cinematic every single time. Where Illidan just fucking yells, "I am my scars." Yeah. And it's just like,
no means I beam.
Yeah, bro, just fucking slaughter her. just go nuts. So yeah, no, I'm very excited for it. All things considered, it can only be good. My only hope is that Blizzard keeps Azeroth as that center focus there. Let the light invade Azeroth. Don't let us go to the light lands or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
It would be nice to be a reactionary rather than the antagonist in these storylines. Like, we go to other places and we mess their stuff up. It's never them coming to us and messing our stuff up. Not since, well, Legion. Warcraft 2 and 3, really.
Yeah, to some extent, Warcraft 2 and 3, one could argue that the Legion was a direct response to the Burning Crusade, but of course the Burning Crusade would still be technically a response to Sargeras and his demons. So really the only ones that ever come to us and fuck us shit up is really the demons, you know? If you're going to go old gods, I have a timeline for you that suggests that we came to Azeroth and fucked up the old god shit. They were here first. Right. So technically speaking, we've been interfering in their realm all this time. So, you know, yeah, it's a great question though. Oh my god, can you imagine a cinematic with the army of the light just pouring onto Azeroth?
Yeah, full on, like Doctor Strange portals and things just pouring out like a tidal wave. That would be led by Lightforged Garrosh, obviously. We need to see him. And then just faced off against Illidan and Death Knight Anduin, Illyria, even Khadgar, who's gone, like, you know, hold on a minute.
Yeah. Even Khadgar.
That would be so good.
Fuck yeah. It's gonna be awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Before we continue,